What's going on YouTube? V here. So today I'm working on a Magical Musketeer deck. This is a competitive build. I might make a casual build if you guys want a casual build, comment below. I'll make a casual one, a little more laid back, not as expensive. But this is one of my favorite decks in the game. I really like this deck. I feel like this is one of those decks that can, it's just waiting to have its time in the meta to actually see tier 1 meta play. I really truly believe that. I really like this deck a lot, guys. It's relatively cheap online as well, which I think is really cool about it. This card was selling for like $27 on pre-order. Now you can get them as cheap as like $8, $9. It's really awesome. But yeah, let's go right into the deck profile. I'll give you guys my reasons for why I play certain cards. 3 Magical Musketeer Caspar. This is a guy that every build's gonna play 3 of. Whenever you activate a spell trap in his column, he can search for any Magical Musketeer card, which is pretty important. It only has 1200 attack and 2000 defense, so it's not really that strong in attack, but definitely a really good card. Up next is 3 Magical Musketeer Kid Brave. He's the Pot of Greed. He's the one that whenever you activate Spell Trap in his column, his zone that he's in, what would happen is you can discard a Magical Musketeer card and draw 2 cards. So he's really just like Pot of Greed, except you gotta pitch one. But yeah, that's pretty good. Up next is Magical Musketeer Starfire. Whenever you activate Spell Trap a card in her column, she special summons a Magical Musketeer monster to your side of the field in face-up defense mode. 1700 defense, 1300 attack. Not really too strong, but still a good card. Another 2 is Magical Musketeer Doc. Whenever you activate Spell Trap card in his column, he'll let you add a Magical Musketeer Spell Trap card from your graveyard to your hand. So that helps you with recursion. I also play 1 Magical Musketeer Wild. I know some decks play Calamity. What Wild does is whenever you activate Spell Trap card in his column, he'll let you go in your graveyard and grab 3 Magical Musketeer cards. Just any Magical Musketeer cards, throw them in the deck, and draw a card. And I like that ability. It lets you play in a longer game state. It lets you drag the game on a little longer. And this deck, the longer the game drags, the better it is for you, for the most part. And I think that having a card like Magical Musketeer Wild just gives you a huge advantage. I always played my builds with 1 Wild. People like playing Calamity. She's not too bad of a card. Calamity's the one when you activate Spell Trap card in her column. She'll let you get a Magical Musketeer monster from your graveyard and bring it onto the field. Which is not bad. It'll bring it in defense position. Same thing with Starfire set for the graveyard. It's not bad, but I feel like she's gonna allow you to extend your game state, and that's why I don't play her. I choose to play Wild over her. For the hand traps, I'm only running 3 Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. Now, I'm really torn between this one because I have a lot of hand traps I'm gonna run. In fact, I'll show you guys my side deck. I have Ghost Reaper that's really good. I have like I said, I'll go on my side deck. I keep my reasons, but like this is the most best generic opening hand trap to have. I feel like this is the best one to open up with. Ghost Reaper is a close second though. But like I said, when I go on my side deck, I'll show you guys that. For spells, we're running 3 Ties of the Brethren. You have to run this. When you resolve this card, you gain so much advantage from resolving Ties of the Brethren. You're really gonna want to need it. Up next, I'm running 3 Magical Musketeer Cross Domination. What this card does is you can play. By the way, any of the Magical Musketeer spells or traps, as long as you have a face-up Magical Musketeer monster, you can play these cards from your hand on your opponent's turn, which is from your hand, and you can play the cards like this on your hand to really shut your opponent down. What this card does is negate the target's monster your opponent has, makes their attack 0, and then negates their effect. Really, really, really strong card. Up next, I only played 1 Magical Musketeer Steady Hands. This card's okay. It doubles Magical Musketeer's attack. It's decent. As you can see, a lot of their attacks aren't strong, so you're kind of going to want to have 1, and I kind of chose to just put 1 in the deck. I don't really always go to that card, but like it's kind of cool you have it. I don't want to open up with 2 of them because I feel it's a -1. For spells, we played 2 Pot of Desires and 2 Pot of Duality. I think that's the best ratio for this deck. I played around with a lot of different builds, but I think these are the best ratios. And even though we run 2 Pot of Dualities, I'm running 2 double summons. I think having 2 double summons, so if you do Pot of Duality, to put 2 monsters on board is huge. If you go Caspar, you play Duality on Caspar, so you're gonna search another monster, or maybe you have one in your hand, and then you play double summon, bring out that monster. Having 2 monsters on board, or I play Magical Musketeer, is huge for you because you can cycle through cards so fast, and your opponent just can't. I think that's one major advantage this deck has. Of course, I'm playing Monster Reborn as well. That's my Calamity. I just like Monster Reborn a lot better. It helps proc Magical Musketeer effect, brings them on board. Like I said, you have at least 2 Magical Musketeers on board. You're really controlling the game state, and your opponent's really behind if you continue to maintain them. And then up next I have 3 Called by the Grave. This is another card. This deck really gets hit a lot by Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. People starting to play Draw and Lockbird, and you're going to want to have Called by the Grave. You're going to want to have it. And the cool thing about having Called by the Grave is you can also use it to proc your Magical Musketeer abilities. So you go search for Caspar, your opponent goes to Ash it. You Call by the Grave, put Call by the Grave on a dock. You're going to get Caspar's effect. They're not going to have their Ash. And then afterwards, since you played Call by the Grave on dock, you're going to get Dock's effect. So this is really going to allow you to cycle through your field and graveyard and stop your opponent. I really like that a lot about this card. You got this for your opponent's hand traps. You got cross domination for your opponent's monster effects. And then the traps also going to help a lot as well. The traps are going to really help a lot. Next up is one Magical Musketeer Fiendish Deal. What this card does is it saves your Magical Musketeers from being destroyed by battle card effects. Your opponent with Gekis, you just slap this bad boy on the field. Your opponent, tries to do anything by destroying, not by battle, I'm sorry, just by card effects. Sorry about that. And your opponent targets this card, destroys this card, you can search in your deck for a Magical Musketeer card, which is huge. A lot of times, people go to blow up the field, you put them on the board, they want to target this card to pop it, you go, great, you pop the card, and then you can go ahead and search for a Magical Musketeer spell trap, which is pretty good. Up next is, I'm playing 2 Magical Musketeer, Magical Musket at this point, sorry about that, Dancing Needle. This is a card that allows you to target up to 3 cards in the graveyard and banish them. That's pretty amazing, especially in a format where we're playing Brandish Maidens, where your opponent's trying to cycle through his graveyard. He needs to have a certain amount of spells. Boom, all 3 spells. You're playing against Go Keys. They want to proc their monsters of effect in graveyard. When they go to the graveyard, they add another Go Key. Boom, gets rid of that. Basically anything at all. This is really good against. You're playing against Alta guys. He's using Marinetta to send target a card to the graveyard to target another card in the graveyard. Hits that. It's just every deck that's a meta gets hurt by this card, and I like that a lot. Especially cards like another card real quickly is Reincarnation. This card's MVP against Reincarnation. You can banish the Reincarnation or whatever card of Reincarnation targets. And the greatest thing about this card is it cycles really easily. I put 2 in the deck just to see it more because that's the meta we're in. But this cycles really easily with while searching with Caspar or getting a back with Doc. This really cycles it easily. I really like that a lot. Next up we have Magical Musketeer Desperado. This is another great card. It just targets a piece of card on the field and destroys it. I think that's really, really good and really broken in this meta, where you just have a random card that you can search to pop things that you can search again and again and again. This is a really, really strong card, and I think everyone that plays Musketeers obviously plays this build, as well as 3 Magical Musketeer Last Stand. This card is insane. This is the card that stops evenly matched when we have a big board. Opponent will literally have to bait out evenly matched because this card is at spell speed 3, and it also basically if you control Magical Musketeer, whenever your opponent activates a spell trap, just negate it. Just negate it. That's spell speed 3, and you can play this from your hand. I don't think there's any card, I could be wrong, but I don't think there's any card in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! That at spell speed 3, you can shut them down from your hand on your opponent's turn. Like, that's pretty insane, and we have this card at 3 in this deck. Konami didn't hit this card, and it's searchable, and it's researchable with Doc, which makes this card makes the deck playable. So that's my Magical Musketeer deck right here, guys. About 40 cards. Let's go right into the extra deck. Actually, we'll go into the side deck first, because extra deck won't make sense if I did that. So like I said, I played 3 Draw and Lockbird. It's a pretty good card. 3 Ghost Reaper Winter Cherries, and I think, and I'm back and forth between Ash and Ghost Reaper, to be honest with you. In fact, if you want to do a little cheaper, you can go run Ghost Reaper, but you gotta have the stuff in your extra deck for that. 3 Evenly Matched. We just need it because it's for the meta. 3 Red Reboot. It's paying life points sucks. I hate decks that anything that pays life points. But this against like a deck like Alta Guys with Magical Musketeer is on board is gonna secure you a quick win. And of course 3 Shared Ride. A card that you can play on top of a Caspar to search. And every time your opponent adds cards, you just stop them. You just keep drawing cards, and you're drawing things. Like I said, you can draw into your Dancing Needles. You can draw into your Last Dance. You can draw into your Desperados. You can draw into your Fiendish Deals. You can draw into like all this stuff. You can draw into that can be played and shut your opponent down. Especially this card over here, Cross Domination. You can draw into all these cards, and it will just shut your opponent down. All right, so let's go right into the extra deck, guys. Obviously, we're playing Nightmare Shark. The ability to attack directly, you can't ignore that. A lot of the Musketeers are level 3s, so you want to do that. Besides, they're all level 3s besides Wild and what's her name? Starfire. The 2 Starfire play in Wild. So basically, besides him and her, the rest of the deck is level 3. for Musketeer. Hey, Aim and Ash is level 3s. So yeah, attack swing directly for 2k. Phantom Knight Breaks was another great card. You won't always go into it, but it's still a good card to have in general. Since we're in the new time rulings, and you run a level 3, rank 3 monster deck, we go to Fortune Tune, which I'm not sure if you guys know what this does, but it can't be destroyed, and you gain life points every turn. And when it goes to graveyard, it basically cycles a card in your graveyard back into the deck, I think, or hand. I don't even care about that fact. It's just the fact that you're in time, you just go Fortune 2 in your opponent, and they're in a really crappy spot. MechWhip Engineer, another card that's really good if you want to put it on and protect like a Starfire, or if you want to protect, and you can pick any card. You use it any time during the phase, during the turn, and it protects your monster from being destroyed, and that's pretty good. Even though we don't play that many level 4s, we are running Baguska, we're running Abyss Dweller, it does come up when you can't play those. You can also run a little bit of the Nightmare package. I run a Phoenix and a Unicorn. I think those are really, really good nightmares. I don't really like Cerberus as much. I like the ability to pop and send things away and remove things out of my face. You can go into Borderlord Dragon. Most likely you won't go into it, but you can. Firewall Dragon, these are just cherry targets at this point. I mean, you can do Borderlord's Cherry, Firewall's Cherry, obviously 2 Sky Strikers, Spyro Double Helix, Electro Knight, and ABC Buster Dragon, because ABCs, they're kind of like in the same mentality with Musketeers. Is once they get going, they're hard to stop, and that's basically what I feel ABCs are, and that's basically what I feel Musketeers are. So if you can get a huge advantage by getting rid of this card, you shut them down so hard, and you can just continue your train of pain. So guys, I really appreciate you guys watching this deck profile. I'll probably have a lot more deck profiles come out later on today, guys. Please make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel. Hit the like button and comment below. I read every single one of the comments. I would love to know what you guys think about this deck. And guys, I really appreciate you guys watching my videos. It's your boy V. You guys have a great day.